Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV back live from southern Alberta after a weekend spent up in Edmonton. Of course, last night the Battle of Alberta didn't turn out for the Oilers, nor did it turn out for Patrick Gillis TV and I, as we all got fired up there. The Oilers fanatic coming on down, meeting us boys down there at the Rogers Place, and unfortunately tickets just didn't drop the way we thought they would to get us in there. But I guess if there's a good game to miss being in the building for, that would be it last night against the Calgary Flames, in which, again, a definition of what's happened here since the All-Star break for the Oilers in 60 minutes or less against the Calgary Flames. Friends, I'm Tyson. Welcome aboard to Dolynny TV. If you're new to the channel, I am going to say maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. That's where I'll leave that for now. But as we continue along here, friends, the Oilers, since that All-Star break ended, have been a completely different team than they were over the previous 27 games. And I guess the only saving grace here that I have really to offer you is the last time we went on a 3-game losing streak, the Oilers promptly rattled off 16 wins in a row. And I think even before that, the last 3-game losing streak, we rattled off 8 in a row. So maybe things are brewing here for the Edmonton Oilers, and maybe just the kick in the pants they needed to get in gear here after a bad loss to the Calgary Flames last night out. That said, we've been waiting for this Oilers team to get their next gear since the All-Star break ended. And maybe one thing that we can look at here as to why the Oilers have been in this funk again as way they were at the start of the year, kind of inconsistency, bad defense, bad goaltending, lack of depth scoring, kind of a whole multitude of things showing up once again in the Oilers play that just aren't good enough or aren't quite right. Well, it all started post All-Star break with a game against Vegas, and we lost that, in which was a game we were never that far away from, right? That was about the best loss of the season the Oilers have had, to be honest with you, from recent memory, and somehow, yeah, it's still a loss. And then this torrential downpour of absolute garbage starts happening again here for the Oilers, just in terms of defensive miscues, forcing plays, forcing passes, not getting the same goaltending you were, which we still have the same goalies and we have the same defensemen, so I'm not sure how that's possible, right? Did Paul Coffey magically forget how to coach the defense? I don't think so. So, right, you look at this here, it's like just a question mark of, yeah, we're playing better competition, but I don't care, because end of the day is every team's an NHL team that we've faced, and you know what? You can get the job done if you keep consistency in your game, which has been the Oilers' problem all season, is keeping that consistency game to game, game in, game out. So that's where I look at this. Maybe it's the Vegas thing, right? We got down in a funk because Vegas beat us, and oh, maybe we just aren't as good as that 16-game win streak says. Maybe we aren't as good as a 24-3-0 record says. Maybe we aren't the team that's going to be able to beat Vegas this spring. I don't know. Quite frankly, I do not know. And the worst part of all of this is the Oilers have kind of meandered their way through the schedule since the post All-Star break time. We're at 55 games played. We're 3 points back of Vegas, but now Los Angeles, riding that new coach bump as we did earlier this season, all of a sudden up to 29 wins, 17 losses, 10 OT or shootout losses, putting them tied at 68 points with us, and really our cushion on the third in the wild card, so a guaranteed playoff spot, I guess is what I'm saying, second and first there in the wild card, has slipped to only 6 points. So the Oilers have just lost all the ground they were making, right? We did not realistically make that much ground up, even on an 8-game and a 16-game win streak, because Vancouver kept winning, Vegas kept winning, LA was holding steady. Well, the Oilers now got ahead, tried to stay ahead, and lost to Vegas to lose the 16-game losing or winning streak, and now you're on a 3-gamer a few weeks later, and it's not looking so good for us all of a sudden again. And here's the thing, right? The popular opinion might be to blame Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard, but I mean, we tried to do that. I tried to do that at the start of the year, and nobody would let me because the defense was so bad. So I sit here and I look at it, and for the Oilers, the last 5 games, 6 goals against, 4 goals against, 6 goals against, 3 goals against, 3 goals against. If the goalies let in 3 goals or less, we're going to win the hockey game. Those 2 wins against Arizona and Dallas, right? We beat a very good Dallas team. But you let 6 goals in, you let 4 goals in, you let 6 goals in. Those are all 3 losses against Boston, Minnesota, and, of course, Calgary. So maybe I'm just bitter following a Battle of Alberta loss. I'm not 100% sure, but it was very tough to watch. I know we watched in the Molson Hockey House last night there for a period. Then we watched in BP's in their little cozy room there in the BP's across from Rogers Place. But end of the day, it was one of those games you just knew every single goal that went in against the Oilers was building towards the final act, which was a loss in which the Oilers, again, just undisciplined. I mean, just stupid stuff, right? Draisaitl takes another very selfish penalty against Calgary last night, and there's just a multitude of things lining up here against this team that I thought we had eliminated, right? That's the crazy part. This is mind-boggling here for the Edmonton Oilers season because we had all these problems at the start of the year, and we naturally kind of get better after Chris Knobloch comes aboard. He solidifies the lineup. He solidifies the lines. We're good. And then all of a sudden we lose to Vegas and it's right back to the blender. It's right back to who knows what the heck the lineup's going to be tomorrow because nothing seems to be working. Nobody seems to work hard enough except for Zach Hyman. And nobody seems to be willing to go out there and be the difference maker in a hockey game. So it's just kind of crazy to me that we continue to have these issues, even though it looked like there for a little while that we had fully eliminated them out of our game. Everybody was praising what a good job Paul Coffey did. Everybody thought that Stuart Skinner would be in the Vezina conversation by the end of the year, right? We can't ride the extreme highs and then still have these extreme low tendencies coming back into our game very quickly, right? I mean, you know what, end of the day is I'm good if we want to lose one, win one the rest of the way home because that allows us to make the playoffs with 95 points comfortably. But the issue there is you're not solidifying the best playoff spot possible. You're not necessarily going in on a high. And secondary to that is I don't want to watch the Oilers win a game on Friday, lose a game on Saturday, win a game on Monday, lose a game on Wednesday, right? That's not what my week wants to look like. I want to watch the Oilers do exactly what they did last year at the end of the year, right? Go out there and absolutely dummy teams down the stretch. And I don't know if that's going to take some trade deadline acquisitions like it did with Matthias Ekholm last year. I don't know what that's going to take, but I'm sure it's going to take something to get this job done here because the roster as it is not currently good enough to snap out of this funk the way the Oilers are in it again. So friends, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for being aboard here this afternoon. I guess it would be by the time most of you are tuning in. For those of you tuning in before noon, hey, early bird gets the worm. I'm up on out of here.